Hey YouTube, Saturday, July 11th. This update on my Mittleider garden. As you can see, I'll have to double check the numbers and dates, but I believe this is the third week for my corn, and I'm going to have my helpers come down here a little bit later and do some weeding, but you can really see the corn there is, well, only been in the ground a couple of weeks. It's, as they say, knee high actually, so it's pretty nice looking. At least this end, for whatever reason, this end looks nice, other end not so nice. A little bit more sparse, a little bit more spindly. I think it's probably due to the fact that the bed's not level. There again, I deviated from the Mittleider recipe and didn't take the time to level the bed, and now I think that's kind of, I'm paying for it. I think what's happening is a lot of the water and stuff mitigates down to this end of the bed, and the other end's kind of left high and dry, or the water doesn't stay on it long enough to get it to propagate down through. But anyways, in between here you can see my beans, which I believe this is about week 2, are looking pretty nice. They're starting to come up. Not all of them came up. Some spots here that are dead. But I do have a few, like here you can see some of my squash are starting to come up. Also, the squash that I planted in the middle as part of the Mittleider, not the Mittleider, but the Three Sisters method. I am seeing some bugs and stuff on the beans, so we've been getting a lot of Japanese beetles here lately. I don't know if that's part of it, but I may just get some 7 dust out and put a little 7 dust on. Actually down here I was kind of pleasantly surprised. This section here, hopefully you can see it. I'm trying to stay out of the sun here. But this is about where my peas started. So I know peas, I think, are supposed to be more of an early crop, but trying them anyways in here. So we've got some of the peas going. There again, you can see the squash coming up in the middle. So overall pretty happy. Here I've got some bald spots where the seed, whatever, this variety for whatever, just didn't seem to germinate as well as the honey and cream. So as I mentioned previously, this is more of a Silver Queen variety. I'm not sure if it was just an old seed or what, but anyways, you can see I've got a lot of crabgrass and crap growing in here, so I'm going to have my daughters come out here and work on weeding this today, part of their education. So told them they need to learn to work some. All right, let's check the other stuff. Well, here's my potato boxes. I added another row of board on last week. I did not get a chance to fill it up with soil mix though. I've got to work on that, but as you can see, I probably need to cut some more boards and put another row or 2 on here and fill it up the rest of the way. These are just kind of really surprising me just how vigorous the growth is on these potatoes. Here's the one grow bag. These were kind of splayed way out. Didn't look real great, so last night I took some of the baler twine and I just kind of wrapped the plant a little bit and tied it off the fence, just kind of make like a cage. One, just kind of keep it a little bit more compact so it's not everywhere to get stepped on. This is the other grow bag. You can really see, I think I definitely need to get bigger bags for next year. I'm really happy with the growth rate that's coming out of these things. As you can see, that's as high as that fence, which is about my hip level. Just to give you an idea, so that's probably a good 2.5 feet, 3 feet off the ground. So you can really see just how nice those are looking. Over here in my grow boxes, things are getting kind of unruly and out of control. Last 2 weekends I really didn't get a chance to get in here and work on them heavy, and I did get the boards up finally on these ones, and I gave up on that one. I just kind of screwed it on where I could get it. It's not square, but at least the board's up. So Gonna work on getting some cables up on here today. Not sure whether I'll spend the money to buy the eye hooks like I did, or if I'm just gonna maybe for right now drill holes through here and wrap the cable around. I know LDS Prepper mentioned Jim Kennard saying that, you know, that's how he does it, just to keep it on the cheap. So anyways, you can see things are looking really good here. I was kind of looking through here last night. I've got some small cukes coming on. I think about the biggest one is maybe about 3-4 inches. Last weekend we actually harvested our first 2 cucumbers out of here. They were excellent eating. Not overly large, I would say maybe about 6 to 7 inches and maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches in diameter. But a very good sweet taste to them. The squash are just like going crazy here. I am seeing, like, I've got some small zucchini starting to come on here. I don't know if I can see this. It's kind of hard to glare on the screen, but you can see one through there. You can see some flowers coming on. I'm going to work on trying to hand pollinate some of these. To be honest, I'm not really sure how to go about trying to trellis the squash and everything. I am going to get these cucumbers on, and they're kind of crisscrossing across the beds and everything else. I'm going to do the eggplants too. And I am seeing where I think I kind of messed up and got things a little bit too tight, or too close I should say. Got something, I don't know if that's a watermelon or pumpkin or what going there, because I thought there was zucchini, but got another one going on over here. Pretty nice size. I gotta have to kind of move things around, so, but you can see here it's growing across my aisle, so I'm gonna have to trim some of these vines. My tomatoes, you can see they're just, it's like a jungle, and that's just from not, last weekend was the first weekend where I wasn't able to get in there and trim things up and cut the suckers out and stuff, and you can just see how just phenomenal the growth really is. I mean, it just surprises me how much they grow each week. You know, these are getting, the tallest ones you're seeing here, those are about shoulder high at this point, so that's about 5 feet. Starting to get a lot of fruit setting on. I do see I have, last night I see I've got my first ripe tomato coming. It's not quite as red as I'd like, so let's see if I can find it here in the viewfinder. Sorry for the shakiness. Yeah, there it is. It's not quite as red as I'd like, so I'm gonna leave it for another day or so, maybe pick it tomorrow or Monday. But I am getting some over fruit setting. The cauliflower, the plants are getting nice and big. Whoop, let me zoom out, sorry. Plants are getting nice and large. I still have not seen any heads starting to set though. Oh, let me try to get out of here. But you can see I am getting, something's doing some nibbling on the leaves. And I've been looking and I can't find, you know, any kind of bugs or anything. This one you can see is really, looks almost like an animal's chewed it off, but I don't know how they got past the cage. So these little tomatoes that I put in here, suckers, are just starting to, well, actually that's not one, I'm sorry. That's one that's coming over from the other bed. But the little suckers in here are doing really nice. I'm gonna have to, I think, work on trying to dig those up and transplant them into pots. My onions, still looking miserable. Peppers, looking pretty nice. I've got my first pepper coming on. Oops, you can see there, that's only about maybe 2.5 inches long and maybe 2 inches around, so hopefully that'll double in size before it's ready. And then I've got this squash over here, starting to vine it, but I see I've got one trailing off running the other direction, so I'm gonna have to work on training that up or trimming it off or something there. Not sure yet, but sorry, come over here. Our raspberry bush, this one little one here, it's so far I'm grateful the birds have been leaving it alone. The kids have been eating some off of here every day during the week, and I actually had 4 or 5 last night, and you can see there's a few on there. Look like they've ripened up overnight. So I'm sure the kids will be snacking on those a little bit later on. Not sure what kind of plant this is. I get this shrub, and you can see it's, if anybody has any ideas or knows what this is, I'd appreciate comments. It's was planted in here by the previous owner. They've got these kind of shrubs that needs trimmed off at the top some more, but in the spring it flowers, and now it's flowering again in the summer, and you see this really pretty looking flower on it. But then this I thought was the same bush, but you can see the flowers are completely different on it. So I'd be curious if anybody knows what it is to let me know. And there's the evil Japanese beetle. I don't know if that's coming into focus or not. So that's where we're at. Oh, I forgot to mention the tomatoes in the pots up on the deck. This morning I went out and collected, I'm glad my wife kind of looked up the sun sugar. I was kind of thinking that those would turn red, and they were only kind of an orange shade, and she happened to look up online today and found out, well, that actually is the color and they're ripe. So we picked a small bowl of those, maybe a dozen and a half or so, and wow, that's my first time eating those. Just excellent. I mean, they pop in your mouth, just loads of flavor, extremely sweet, very good. The kids all had one and really enjoyed them. So glad to see they're just starting to come on, and hopeful that they're going to set quite a bit. The grape tomatoes, they are still green, but they're really starting to load up with a lot of little fruit forming and still a lot more flowers. One thing I mentioned to my wife that's kind of concerning to me that I've noticed here in the last couple of weeks is I'm just not seeing bees. I'm not seeing honeybees or bumblebees or anything. So that kind of concerns me, you know, from a pollination standpoint with the flowers and stuff. You know, as many other flowers as I've got around the house, even some of my weeds down here, or, you know, like these ones that I was just showing you, I would think there should be more bees around. So not sure if that's part of the results of the colony collapse you hear about or what, but I have been trying to go through, and I see some of these flowers are opened up, but I have been trying to go through and hand pollinate you know, the squash and the cucumbers when I see there's something available there. So I'll be working on that today. You can see there's a little small cucumber there. We've got the thing on, so I don't know if once the fruit starts getting that large, if it means it's already pollinated or if there's still a chance it could die off. I think that one's already good to go though. I think I pollinated that the other week. So like I said, looking through here, you can see we got a lot of buds coming on. And oh, I was going to show you these little sunburst squash. I think these are pretty cool looking. You know, just kind of give you an idea. Scale, got some more coming on in here. So those would be cool. Kind of interested to try them, see what they taste like. But all right, well, I might bring you all back later on today after I get some work done out here, get some things trellised up, and hopefully get my hedgerow of tomatoes trimmed back a little bit. So thanks a lot, YouTube.